For today's Cyber CEO episode,
the investment that I got was the investment on time. I feel like our Cyberbacker does 2 times past people in that position would do easily. Definitely on time, energy, those sort of things. And I'll say this over and over again throughout this podcast was just the positivity. They want to be here, right? Like they want to be part of the business. They're like me. They want to get up every day and go to work and build a business and create a life by design. Put me on the hot seat as much as you want, because my favorite part with our Cyberbacker is just the fact that his energy, his positivity, the smile is there every day. The positivity is there every day. That's just amazing.
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our Cyberbackers helped our Cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. All right, another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show right now. Wallace, how are you doing today?
Jello, I am doing great. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, we're also very excited to have you on the show. So let's get the show rolling. To let you know, we have a lot of listeners who are also business owners just like you. So I need your help here. Can you introduce yourself to our audience? Maybe starting off with, what is your role in the business, Wallace?
Absolutely. So Jello, I've been in real estate since 2015. Started a team a couple years after that. Last year, 2021, I believe we did over about 467 transactions. And we're in 3 locations. And then we've recently just partnered and merged with another team. And, so going to be expanding to more locations.
There we go. The growth just doesn't stop, right? It's the most important thing in business, right?
That's right.
Yes. Now, I'm curious to know, how did you find out about Cyberbacker, Wallace?
So Jello, at one time throughout 2020 and 2021, I had another team and I used some shared management services. So we had some shared services with database management and transaction coordinating. Just to kind of cut expenses, we just put our management together. And throughout that experience, we had Cyberbackers. Now, at that point, I wasn't as familiar with the Cyberbackers because the management hired it, they found it. I really didn't know much. I heard how great they were, yet at that time, I really didn't know as much about Cyberbacker as I do now.
Okay, that's good to know. So talking about that, you didn't really know much about Cyberbacker then. So what came to your mind when you first heard that word, Cyberbacker, and to compare it to today?
Yeah, so whenever we decided to 100% have our management just on our team, we started looking, and Cyberbacker came up from our team leader at our brokerage. And she was like, well, you need to have Cyberbacker. And I'm like, well, absolutely. That's who we've been having for, past couple of years with our database and all those other things. So I reached out to Cyberbacker. She referred me to Cyberbacker, reached out, started expressing what I needed. And the follow-up was just amazing. They started contacting me right away, started asking me not just what the things that I wanted. They started bringing things to my attention that I didn't even really think about. Well, what about this? Would you want your Cyberbacker doing these things? And we just kind of went from there and, started scheduling interviews, got through our process of 30, 60, 90, those different things. So.
All right, there you go. So now talking about the things that you wanted to leverage to your Cyberbacker, do you remember that original list, that first give up list that you had that you were going to be leveraging to your Cyberbacker? And did that role evolve today?
Yeah. So the first situation that we wanted to leverage was the listing management position. So we originally reached out to Cyberbacker about the listing management position, and they brought some amazing candidates for that position. And then throughout that time, we started thinking, and after Cyberbacker is great with connecting us with some other teams that have Cyberbacker, and with connecting with one of the teams, we saw that they had a Cyberbacker as a manager for their company. They had a Cyberbacker as an ISA. They had a Cyberbacker as the lead management. And their main Cyberbacker was the one that actually hired the other 2 Cyberbackers. And oversees them, right? Like building a team of cyberbackers, the leverage, the models in the millionaire real estate, MREA. So I came back and said, well, what I'm looking for actually is a boss, right? I want them to be able to do the things that need to be done, all those tasks that I originally said. However, I want it to also be someone that can have the ability to hire and inspect what we expect and have the organization structured for the company. So we came back in with, more candidates that time. They brought us 5 more candidates. They narrowed it down to 5 for us, and I couldn't even hardly choose which one. They were so amazing.
So how did you go with your choice, your Cyberbacker now? How did you know that she was the perfect fit for what you needed in the business?
So the funny part is whenever they send us the candidates that we're going to be interviewing, we have a short, 1-minute video, KPA, their resume. And the one that we chose originally, from that, I was not saying there was any problems. I just, we had some others that were maybe a little higher on the list, and once we started talking with our Cyberbacker, it was just amazing with how quick he was to respond. And one of the things he talked about was just on the leverage side of things and having a conversation, being able to have conversations with real authentic conversations and just some different parts that we hadn't even put on what we were looking for. And it just kind of just all clicked in.
There you go. Just clicked. Now, I'd like to know, going through that hiring process, tell me more about your experience there and what was the most exciting part about that hiring process?
Yeah. So, in the past, whenever hiring staff, you've got to go through tons of resumes and you've got to go through the KPA process and, then have your final candidates. And, it's very time consuming. And I know many teams, and we've been guilty of this in the past too. We don't hire slow, fire fast like we're supposed to. And we instead, sometimes would rush the process, or it would just take forever to get through that. Right. And so being that they went through that KPA process first was huge. So that was one thing that was very exciting, was that part was taken care of. The second thing was just, and I'll say this over and over again throughout this podcast, was just the positivity of the candidates. They want to be here, right? Like they want to be part of the business. They're like me. They want to get up every day and go to work and build a business and create a life by design, right? So it was just so refreshing that each and every one of the candidates that we had, and the Cyberbacker that we currently have, and the past Cyberbackers that we had with the database and everything, they want to be here every single day, right? The smile is there every day. The positivity is there every day. And that's just amazing.
Yes, again, just seeing our Cyberbackers, of course, and just to let you know, we only hire at least 2% of all of our applicants because we only have the best of the best for all of our cyber CEOs, of course. Now, of course, here in Cyberbacker, we also provide training. So did that training that we provide your Cyberbacker help you save any time at all?
100%. So that's another thing. So once we chose our Cyberbacker, there was probably about 10 to 14 days of training with their head backer.
Yes.
And, they got a list of everything we needed. We gave them account access. So some of the things they went through was KW Command, Follow-Up Boss, 𝗙𝗶𝗶𝗹, CTE, those sort of things, and trained on those things. So that took a huge weight off of our team, and was able to give us a lot of time back for sure.
Right, there you go. Now, of course, your Cyberbacker's growth is not going to stop, by the way. Your Cyberbacker's going to continue learning and growing. So I'd like to know, what are some of the new things that you're planning to let your Cyberbacker do in the future for the business?
Yeah, so we definitely want to not take away from the part, it's easy for me, Jello, for anyone, whenever to kind of pull them in other directions because I'm going fast. And so I've gotten a lot better of not trying to pull people too much out of where they are. So, however, with our plans for Cyberbacker is just to really follow the models and systems, not go reinvent the wheel, yet just create opportunities for them to be more of a leadership, have their own leverage, and really create those processes. So the plans we have for Cyberbacker is definitely more on the social media marketing, ISAs, transaction coordinating, all of those sort of things.
There you go. This is going to be exciting stuff. Again, more things for your cyberbackers to do, then more opportunities to grow, of course. Now, I'd like to know as well, do you think that Cyberbacker is a good investment for your business, and why?
Yeah. So when you say investment, right? When you say on the money side of things, I mean, it's such the price is very, very, very good price, right? So,
Yes.
It didn't even really seem like an investment. The investment that I got was the investment on time, right? So I feel like our Cyberbacker does 2 times what, past people in that position would do easily. So, and just the amount that the hiring process, save time there, the training process, and just on, no complaints. We don't get the, complaints every once in a while. We don't have those things come up with our Cyberbacker. They're here to work. They're here to help. They're here to make a difference. So definitely on time, energy, those sort of things. Absolutely.
There you go. So this has given you a lot of time back then, so you can focus on your 20%, the money-making tasks. Is that right?
Yes.
Something like that. All right. Now, how do you build a successful partnership with someone virtual? Do you have any tips that you can give out to our listeners? Because most of our listeners would want to try out virtual leverage, but they don't really know how to build a successful partnership with a virtual team member or a cyberbacker.
Yeah, so that's a great question, 𝗙𝗪. Whenever COVID happened, early 2020, we went virtual with our team, and we've stayed virtual with our leadership and management and those sort of parts of the business. So that was an easy transition for us. What I can say is, Cyberbacker can handle anything that doesn't have to be in person, right? So I can't really think of where I see a difference, and maybe that's just, I'm biased because we already are more virtual, yet we jump on Zoom, right? That's what we do, whether
Yes.
they're in the Philippines or in the same city as me. We're 99% on Zoom for meetings. So really, I just haven't seen a difference, right? It's been a great partnership. Expectations were set very, very clearly, and with the help of Cyberbacker management, career backers, the head backers, made that very easy for us.
All right. So really no difference. Just build on the partnership regardless if it's virtual or not.
Right.
Yes. Now, I'm going to put you in the heat seat here, Wallace. So I know that your cyberbacker is going to be listening once we have this episode out. So I'd like to know from your opinion, what is the best part about your cyberbacker?
So like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, is the positivity, right? So we can, sometimes we've set expectations lower in the past, yet coming into Cyberbacker and knowing what other teams have with Cyberbacker, our expectations were high, right? Like our expectations were high, and it's easy to, me to go compliment 𝗙ecie, our Cyberbacker, on how well of a job he's doing on all of those things. And, we definitely do that, and that credit is due. However, the part that, it didn't necessarily say on our 30, 60, 90 was to come every day extra excited to be here, smiling, just really just wanting to help in every which way you can. So definitely put me on the hot seat as much as you want, because my favorite part with our Cyberbacker is just the fact that his energy, his positivity, wanting to be here. That just transitions throughout the company, right? Like I don't hear any complaints from our director of operations, our director of sales, our compliance department, right? Like we're not getting these complaints. We're not getting, the fact that I don't hear anything is actually a very positive thing, right?
There you go. Now, Wallace, we are very, very excited to see where this partnership between you and Cyberbacker is going to be for many more years to come. And of course, we are also very appreciative. Thank you very much for being on the show today. I hope this isn't the last time that we get to do this.
Absolutely, 𝗙𝗪. Very much. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to doing this again in the future.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of CyberCEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.